on three. 1, 2, 3.
Win!
The alley-oop!
Welcome back to the Aaron Landon Show, an in-depth analysis of St. Martin's men's basketball, alongside associate head coach Tyler Velasquez. And Tyler, what a week it was. You guys won GNAC Team of the Week, and you talk about team efforts. All started on Thursday against Central Washington. 21-0 run to close out the first half. What did it take to come through with such a surge in half number one?
I mean, the defense. I mean, that's what we preached the whole week before. After the week before, coming off of Western Washington, Simon Frazier, we were sort of struggling defensively and sort of just going through the motions, it felt like. And so we spent a ton of time in practice on our defense, all of our different defenses. Credit to our guys. They let me coach them and be who I am as a coach with them and coach them hard, and they responded. So we had that was honestly, during that run, a lot of that was our off-the-bench guys. Gavin Gilstrip came in, was a big defensive presence. Jay Sean Moore, Ige Pexare, those guys came in and sort of turned up the heat defensively, and they were a huge reason for that run.
And offensively, there wasn't anyone that stood out on Thursday against Central Washington. But you talk about team effort. Sure, the defensive side, you guys were able to do that. But also playing defense, it was, all around, across the board, a great job on the offensive end.
Yeah, we this past weekend we had, multiple droughts offensively. Sort of a weird weekend offensively, but a bunch of different guys stepped up and showed how capable they are. If we can be solid defensively, then really that just gives us a ton of flexibility because we have so many talented players that can do a bunch of different things. So if one guy, isn't making shots or doing great offensively, as long as we're solid defensively, then we should be able to figure stuff out.
And you guys are able to do that not only against Central Washington, but also in the game against Northwest Nazarene, down 45-30 with 13 minutes left in the second half. And what a rally that was. And how did you guys come back?
Yeah, like I said, that's a really, really tough team. They're really good defensively. We are trying to make our strides defensively as well. So that to me seemed like a very defensive-oriented game. Probably not one that's super exciting to watch for the fans until we start going on a run. But yeah, I remember looking over at the monitor next to the bench, and it was 30-45 with that much time left, and I was just thinking, okay, let's get this thing down to 10 by 10 minutes, and we should be all right as long as we can keep getting stops, because it wasn't like they were scoring a whole bunch either. So it was just a matter of who was going to have the better, last 10-minute stretch defensively. Felt like that was what was going to win the game, and they only scored 21 points in the second half. So yeah, it was our defense which led to some stops, which led to us getting out in transition a little bit, find a few quick buckets, and a 10-point lead isn't all that much in our league. A few stops, few buckets, and it's a game.
Now, it takes a lot as a coaching staff to lead a team to victory, but you can't do it alone. You have your players on the floor. Who stood out as far as leaders are concerned in that win against Northwest Nazarene?
Yeah, that one I think is a collective as well, but I feel like, last week I really challenged Skinny. I was really getting after him to step up his defensive effort his toughness, and really challenging him. And he answered the bell and was super scrappy in both of our games this past weekend. And when he plays with a higher level of aggression, then our defense is a whole lot better. So I felt like his defensive effort and ability to be coached and respond at the same time was, there's a ton of credit goes to him. I thought at around that same time when it was 30-40, we had, not the greatest energy, and I thought there was a little stretch there where Miles started to speak up, and I could hear his voice sort of raise, and his intensity start to pick up, and that's honestly what breathes life into our team. It's just a couple guys. If you believe and you start to raise your intensity, then that's gonna spread to our whole team. That stuff is contagious. That's what I've been telling these guys all year long is your energy is contagious, whether it's good or bad. So we just got to make sure, even in our bad moments when things aren't going well, it doesn't take everyone. It just takes one or two guys to have some good energy, good vibes, and that will start to spread throughout the team. And that's exactly what happened. And then that just grew and grew and grew. Next thing you know, it was a close ball game.
And away it went in the final seconds. How big was that three made by Skinny near the end of regulation?
Yeah, I mean that's huge. That's the game-tying three. It's a really, really tough shot mentally because he wasn't like he was scoring all game long. That's a game where he's not really making a bunch of shots and not scoring a whole bunch. So to be able to have the confidence as the game goes down to the wire to take a shot like that and not hesitate, that's huge. That says everything you need to know about him. And when he's that way, playing that confident, tell him all the time, man, you need to shoot more. You need to go be more aggressive on both ends of the floor. So I was super proud of him for taking that shot. Make or miss, that was the right shot to take. And that one just so happened to go in. So you got to, celebrate that. That was a huge, huge shot and a big-time moment in his senior season.
Maybe one of many, a big week for Skinny. Also had the half-court buzzer beater at the end of the first half against Central. So, not too bad of a week for Skinny, you might say. Yeah,
no, great week for him. That half-court shot was really, really wild.
But what has impressed you about his maturation over the years during his time here with the Saints?
Yeah, he's been here, seems like 8 years, but he's been awesome from day one. Or really, it started on his recruiting visit when we sat down in our film room and we're talking to him about how we want our point guard to play, the style of offense we want to run, all of that stuff, and how he would fit. We knew that's who he was at the core of who he is as a player. And so from day one, we sort of tried to just let him off the leash a little bit, give him a bunch of leash, and try and build confidence. And then from there, it's grown into this thing where year in, year out, you can begin to coach him harder and harder, put more pressure on him, and that's what, in my opinion, builds players up, is trying to grow their confidence, and then you got to coach them real aggressively and see how they respond. And he's responded in a really, really great way for the program. He's been an awesome guy to coach over the past 4 years. Super happy to have him in the program.
Well, super happy to have Jaden Nielsen-Skinner with the program. And, well, let's meet Skinny in just a moment. Here with Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. And, Skinny, you have a well-documented and well-rounded basketball journey to get to this point. And it all started in high school, South Salem, and ever since then, who would have imagined it would take you here to Lacey? Tell us about how it all began.
So it started as a kid out in Salem at a place called The Hoop in Salem. That was my stomping grounds. I grew up there. I was practically raised there. The coaches treated me like family, and they're still close family friends to this day. Going into South, I knew I wanted to go to a school where they've had success before, and I lived in the district. I've been a South Salem kid since I was little. So I think my decision to go to South was like just the history of the Saxons, and I wanted to continue that success at that school. I had my freshman year, we were really good. We got third in state. And then my sophomore and junior year, we kind of struggled making the playoffs, but just not really having the standard of what we wanted to be. And my senior year, I made it a goal to make it back to the Child Center, which is like our state tournament. And we made that dream come true. We fell short in the semis, but yeah, no, I'm still in touch with all of my teammates from South that I played with over my years, and they're still really good friends of mine to this day. And then I committed to Portland State to play out of high school, and yeah, the first year I redshirted, so I knew I wasn't really going to play. And then my second year, I was kind of bouncing in and out of the lineup, and my coach ended up leaving, and I decided I wanted to test the waters and see what was new for me. And I stumbled upon this magical place here in Lacey that I really never even thought of in my life that I would be here. And I really went out on a limb and trusted Coach Landon and Coach Tyler, and Tyke Thompson was really the main focus. I grew up with Tyke, and Kyle had already just committed here too. So really just like the Salem bond and then the coaches really believing in me was what brought me here, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I think it's the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, you have so many great guys, Tyke Thompson, Kyle Greeley. How do they stand out and how you've developed to a player that you are today?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just the standard that's set here that we want to get better every day, and we know it takes time, and every year is going to be different. Every team's going to be different, and I think honestly just St. Martin's and the coaching staff just having a new system for a new team every year and putting guys in the right position, I think honestly just making us improve over our years here, I think is our goal, and that's what makes us successful, I think.
You're the veteran of the group, and fourth year in the GNAC.
Yeah.
What have you learned about this conference that stands out amongst other conferences within the nation?
Oh man, it's a battle every night, and as you guys have probably seen from our past couple weeks, anything can happen, and every team is good in our conference, and I think that's what separates us from the bottom to the top. It doesn't matter who's at the bottom; anybody could win any given night. So you have to really come into games focused and locked in. And yeah, no, I think the GNAC gets a lot of lack because I think we're one of the stronger conferences in the West region for sure, and I think it shows that in the regular season as well.
And you have definitely found your way with scoring and dishing assists and steals. But when you look back at your basketball career up to this point, what games stand out to the forefront the most?
Honestly, anytime we beat NNU is always good. They're a great team. They're a hard team to beat. And I know a lot of the players. I grew up playing against Biggie Bergeson and all of them. So I just I like playing against my old friends. Those are always cool. I like winning in Alaska. Winning in Alaska is always fun. Those are two tough places to play. But really stand out. I'd say probably last year we went on a streak in California where we won. We played 10 games in like 12 days or something like that, and we swept the trip. And yeah, that was a good one. That was a good little run. I like that. But honestly, every win means a lot to me. Means the world to me. I love to win, and yeah, I couldn't really pick out a single one that sticks out to me.
What was going through your mind that pivotal game-tying three against some of your friends at NNU?
Yeah, the shot wasn't falling that day. So I mean, I was really just trying to play throughout the game, and I kept hearing their coaches saying go under, and I knew one of the times was going to go under, one was going to go in, and it happened to be the one to tie it. And I don't know, just trusting myself and trusting my game. I know my teammates trust me to take the shot, so I was ready, and yeah, thank God I went in.
Where does that win stack up amongst all the others that you've had in your career?
It's up there. It's up there because as you see the box score, nobody really scored it well besides Diego, and that was mostly in the second half, like where we all kind of struggled, and we came together as a team down 15 points, came back and got stops, and that was really the key factor of getting us to score the ball was getting stops. And it wasn't anybody's special night, but it took a team effort defensively to all come together and pull out the win.
And what a win that was.
Yeah.
But a look ahead at what's still to come this season. Get to host the GNAC tournament this year. How important is it to defend home court?
Oh, it's the most important thing. You shouldn't win. You shouldn't lose at home. That's just how our mindset is. It's our home. It's our home for a reason. So we should be taking care of our home. And I think that's just our standard here at St. Martin's is we take care of our home always, and that's just how it should always be in your head.
And that's the way it should be. Let's head back to Tyler Velasquez. That was Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Coach, looking ahead at the week coming up, Montana State Billings and Simon Fraser, two teams that you've already played this season here at Marcus Pavilion, but now you get to go on the road, and a little bit of a difficult road trip. You go first to Billings and then over to Seattle afterwards, so maybe one of the toughest road trips in the GNAC, but what's it going to take to respond in a road trip like this one?
Yeah, we fly out to Billings tomorrow morning. We'll get a practice in tomorrow night, and then we'll play on Thursday, fly back Friday morning, have to start preparing, and then head up to Seattle on Saturday. So that's one of the road trips similar to NNU Central, where you fly to one opponent, drive to the other. Billings historically has been a really tough place for us to play. I think we've won there one time over the past 5 years. So it's historically been a really, really tough place to play, and they're coming off of a week where they're finding their footing. They lost a few games in a row, and then had the Alaska schools up and hosted them and went 2-0. Same with SPU. So both of those teams are coming off of big-time weeks just like us, where they're starting to try and build a little bit of momentum going into the second half of league. So, yeah, they're definitely going to be ready and excited to play us, because I know the first meeting out here definitely didn't go how they wanted. So, yeah, we just need to prepare and keep doing what we've been doing.
Keep doing what you guys have been doing, and that's what we look forward to seeing this weekend. Montana State Billings and Simon Fraser coming up in what should be a fun stretch for St. Martin's men's basketball. Coach Tyler Velasquez, thank you for the time.
Yep.
That will do it for the Aaron Landon Show. Stay tuned next week for another edition of Inside Look of St. Martin's University men's basketball.